Hey guys, welcome back to UModeler. In this video, we're going to take a look at how to use the UV Param Tool in UModeler X. The UV Param Tool allows you to select the polygons or the faces of an object, and it lets you actually adjust your textures by shifting them, rotating them, moving them, or just simply making them tileable. So let's take a look at how to do that. All right, so to get started, we have our box here. And the first thing we want to do is go ahead and apply a material to it with a texture. So in the bottom here in my folder, I have a set of textures and materials. And what I'll just go ahead and do is click and drag one of these on. So I'll just go ahead and do, say, texture 2, and I'll move that there. And let me go ahead and reapply that again. And I think we're good to go. Great. So what we're going to do now is adjust the faces of this using the UV Param tool. So to do that, with your object selected, I want you to go into your inspector in your tools list and head all the way down to the surface group. And in the surface group, you'll see the UV Param. Go ahead and click that. Once you click that, you're going to see some tool properties show up here. You're going to see the shift, rotation, scale, and tiling. And we don't have to worry about the rest of these selection options here, but you can also use select UV params and then reset your UV params. All right. So once you actually have this selected, you're hovering over your object or the faces of your object, and you'll see that it's changing color. So what we want to do is select one. So I'll go ahead and select this one. And then once that's selected, what we want to do is start to kind of play with these values. So I'll go ahead and move it on the X. Great. And as you can see, I'm shifting it in a particular position, and on the Y, I'm shifting it as well. And this is just really useful if you're trying to line up certain things. And I'll show you that maybe on the wall here in the back. And then you also have the rotation, so you can rotate it as well, which is pretty nice. And then you also have the ability to scale, so we can scale it if you need to. So I'll just put in a base value like 3, and let's go ahead and scale it on 3, and then we can change the rotation if we need to, which is great. And then of course we can do tiling. So if we click tiling, it's going to kind of make it based on the tiling value. So in this case I have 5, so I can do something like 3 and 3, which looks pretty good. And so we can go that route there. So that's pretty great. Now what I'm gonna do is go ahead and select the top one and completely change this one to something like 7. So I'll do 7 for the top and 3 for the sides. So I'll do tiling. And so now we have completely different tiling from the top and the sides here. Now, just to make sure this one looks a little different than this, I'll do something like 12 just to make it even different. So I'll do tiling, and so now we have that, and I'll even do a little bit of rotation to it just to make it different. Great. So now as you can see, you're able to adjust different faces based on kind of what you need. Now, what we want to do is, say for instance, you do want to select just what we need. So you can do select UV params, and anything that we actually adjusted, you can select just those parameters. And if you want, you can actually go 4 and 4 and then hit tiling, and it'll apply it to the things that you actually have selected. So you don't have to do it one face at a time, which is great. And of course, we can also reset it all the way back to default and start over again. All right, great. Now there is one caveat with this to make sure if you ever run into this issue. So for instance, if we have an object, and I'm going to select this object, and I'm going to go into the UV editor mode. And in the UV edit mode, currently our object is not UV edited, so it doesn't have any UVs generated. But if your object does have some UVs generated, so for instance, if I go to cube and I just go unwrap, there's our cube and it's unwrapped. I'm going to go ahead and close that. As you can see, now we have an unwrapped cube. But if I were to go to UV Param again and try to adjust this face, I'm not going to get any movement here. And that's because the UVs have been unwrapped. So to get out of that, what you would want to do is just simply go into your UV editor, make sure everything is selected, go into your UV editor, And what you would do is hit cancel. Make sure everything is selected and hit cancel. And you're just basically getting rid of those UVs. And then you'll be able to go into your parameters and you can actually adjust those now as you would have before. Great. All right. So what we're going to do now is take what we just learned and just kind of apply it to this back wall here. So I'll go ahead and hide this box and make this selectable here. So now I have this wall and let's apply some textures to it. So the first thing I'm actually going to want to do is head over to a tool to see what materials are assigned to this. So go to Surface, Materials, and I have one material. This is our base material, but I'm going to click this plus key here. And what I'm going to do is take the texture 2 and move it into here. As you see, it replaced that. And then what I'm going to do is move, say, texture 1 into this position here. And if you want, we can actually do a third one. And I'm going to move, say, texture 3 into that one. Great. So now what I want to do is apply to all these walls a different texture. So I'm going to select this wall and I'm going to hit assign. And so we're going to assign that texture there. And then for this wall here, I want to assign texture 3. And so we have that there. Great. And so now those look pretty good, but I think I want those to be a little larger. Great. So what we'll do is now select the UV Param tool, just like before. And what we're going to do is highlight the wall we want to work with. So let's go ahead and highlight this one here first. And then I'll go ahead and scale this up. So I'll hit and maybe go 4 by 4. And maybe that's a little bigger. We'll just go by 3 by 3. Great. And so now we have a wall that is bigger. So that's nicer. And then this texture over here, I'll select this one and we can do a 2 by 2. See how that looks? Great. That looks pretty good. So maybe a 3 by 3 with this as well. All right, great. And now there you have it. And then the floor, of course, if we want, we can do a 5 by 5 if we want to do, or scale it 5 by 5, which is pretty good. Great. And so now you're just adjusting and assigning different textures to an object. Maybe this isn't the best floor in the world here. Maybe we want to change that. We can always go into our materials and actually replace this one with texture 4 instead of texture 2. And so now we have a different texture. Great. And we can adjust that. So that is pretty simple, pretty straightforward. It's pretty powerful, and I believe it's very useful. Great. Well, that's how you use the UV Param tool. Would love to see what you guys will do with it.